I do, folks. Just a quick one from the man cave, not in the motor. It's not a. This one's not a jolly, pretty, informative one. This one's just something I've had to come to a decision. I've had to deal with some shit. So I need to speak. For the past few years, obviously everybody knows I've worked like a fucking dog, giving everything I can. And I do various things at the minute for remuneration. And what's happened at the minute, I've always spoken to anybody who wants to speak to me. I'll talk about absolutely anything with anybody, everybody knows that. But it's got to the point where I am spending about 8 hours a day just on the telephone. Everybody who wants to speak to me, I speak to, and I don't ever say no to anybody. And this results in just me having no life at all. Obviously, when I'm speaking to folks all day long, it's taxing and draining on me because it's always informative. It's always folks asking questions and me giving answers. It's literally like a full-time job there. But then at night time, on the evenings, I'm usually on Zoom calls and such like with things that I have to deal with and things that I am dealing with in my own personal life. And then comes the night time when the missus has gone to bed and it's all quiet. That's when I start working, and I'm writing all night until about five in the morning. As folks have always known, I always have, because that's the quiet time when I can. But from the minute I wake up, literally the minute I wake up, I'm onto emails and responding things and dealing with the various groups I've got. Then onto phone calls by dinner time, and then that goes all the way through the afternoon. I only break to have something to eat, then I'm on Zoom calls, and then I'm writing. This has gone on for far too long, and you've got to all see that it cannot be sustained, especially now. I'm getting busier and busier and busier, and so many folks are coming to get their answers for their questions. But as I keep saying, I'm one man, and it's gone too far. I don't ever want to say no to anybody. I can't do that, and I'm not that man who thinks he's better than somebody. So this decision's not been bought or not come to because I think I'm better than anybody or even think I'm valuable or worth anything. It's just pure and simple. This cannot be sustained. Everybody is just one guy or gal coming to me. I'm just one man, but I've got everybody coming to me. You can't even imagine what this does to my life. So I'm having to put a fee on phone calls. I'm really sorry, but if you really want to talk to me that badly, not that I think it should be charged for. I've always called everybody that said that they was charging for phone calls, usually because I've seen the intent behind it. They was trying to make money. I'm not. I need it to be prohibitive to those that are just taking my time up, because some of these folks, I know for a fact, are coming in from other groups that don't have the answers to things and coming in acting like they're just one person with one problem, and then I'm spending hours and hours discussing things, and they're taking it to their groups or their friends and going, look what I've come up with. And this is all me that's draining me, and I don't care for the glory of it. I don't care if somebody says they thought of it or not. But the reality is, the very fact they're going to come to me and absolutely drain me for hours of my time, and then just keep sending more messages and more messages for more clarifications, as probably as they're getting questioned, it just goes on and on and on. I've got every kind of all sorts coming towards me, and not all of it's good intent. Some of it is just to drain me and ask questions just for that fact. I'm sure of it. I don't know what everybody's intent is. I talk to literally everybody. You're all strangers to me on first contact, so I'm just taking you on face value, and I answer everything with full disclosure and try not to leave anything, any stone unturned. But this alone is what's taking all of my time up, and it has to stop. So the only way I can do it is by saying there is a fee on it, and if you want me to do something for you that I do for remuneration, that will be reimbursed on that. But that fee now has to stand for a phone call, because it's all day every day. And like I say, I don't think phone calls should be paid for, but my time can no longer be free, and folks want to take all of my time collectively. Not any one of you have got bad intent to take all of my time, I'm sure, but it is getting to the point where literally all of my time has gone. It's always been a crazy life for me while ever I've been doing this, and it is really tough being able to help folks when everybody wants help and you've got an overload of folks coming to you. You have to draw the line somewhere, and the only way to keep doing it is doing what I'm doing. I am trying to, at the minute, set up a website which is going to automate things. It'll actually be Trust Asset Protectors, which is going to change into another website at some stage soon. It's going to alter big time, and there's going to be all sorts on there. But for the main part, right now, I need time, otherwise this shit ain't going to happen. I've got to put all this stuff together, plus I've got all the other things I'm doing, and I'm taking on battles that people wouldn't even believe if I discussed. But the reality is, it's all for the greater good, and I need the time to do what I'm doing. So I am sorry. It is horrible that I have to do it, but I do have to do it. It has to put a stop. I have to put a stop to it, because I physically can't cope. My life, my health, and my wife, she's sitting there still waiting after all these years for me to give her some time, and I keep promising her I'm gonna make it so there's some time. I promise you I will. And she's still so patiently waiting for me, but she knows damn well while I'm from doing this, it just will not ever stop, and it can never stop, because the more folks hear my name, the more folks see that I can tell them how their problem can be solved, so I'm the bloke that has to be spoken to. Well, that's the problem with the name getting out, and I've always tried to keep my groups very, very small, and that is the main reason why, because I have such a high level of folks speaking to me or listening to me, wants to speak to me. So the higher the volume, the more it just fucks everything up for everybody. But I just genuinely can't keep this up. I genuinely can't, and I've got some really, really important shit to do. And as I say, there are folks out there that are actually getting me to create the trusts and such like, and they're exchanging their sweat equity for my sweat equity. They need my professionalism at that point, not some guy who's worn out from an entire day of phone calls and bouncing from one subject to another. So the amount of phone calls have to reduce, and that's the only way I can see of it reducing, because that should get rid of all those that are certainly the ones that are just coming in from elsewhere trying to get the answers for other folks and just basically wasting my time because they can't be asked to do their own due diligence. And secondly, just because I've said it for quite a while, I can't be the answer to all these little debt collector claims and such like. They are inconsequential. They're so fucking easy to deal with, and for less than 20 quid, Robert on Observation Deck has a brilliant book, as I've said before, that will deal with all the small claims. So for less than 20 quid you can fix it. You don't need me, and you don't need me to walk you through it, and then the multiple emails and messages that come after that to say what about this, and and I've got this back, and it just goes on and on and on. It's so much time involved when for 20 quid you can have all the answers and perpetually be able to fix it all yourself. So that's what I would advise for small world stuff. I know it's massive in what's going on in your life, but that is only because you won't educate yourself in the system. It's very, very easy to deal with debts, and folks need to just look at the real world, look at the process Robert's got there for many things. That'll deal with most of your debts. Obviously it needs altering for council taxes and such like that, but again, it's all unlawful, and it's only knowledge, and you can actually learn that shit. You don't need somebody to tell you everything when it's all there to find. It really is. I mean, myself, I've spent thousands and thousands of hours watching things, thousands of hours reading things, thousands of pounds on courses of various things to learn various things, and I've just given all of my time, and for years, and I don't begrudge doing it. I love talking to folks, I really do. As folks know, when I get talking, you can get me chatting about absolutely anything. I've been in the truth world for years, and I've really researched to a deep level many things, and I have a fair comprehension of my truths. Folks find that interesting and they get me on that subject. We'll continue for another hour after what we spoke about on something like that. But this isn't for that. This isn't for my day, because I'd love to sit and just chat about the shit that interests me all day long. I don't have the time for that. I really don't. Folks are coming into this new world order, leaving everything. It's all acquiescence, and right at the last minute it's like, oh, it affects me now, and now I need to go to that guy. I've been saying for fucking ages folks need to wake up and sort the shit out.
nobody does until it bites you in the ass. But as I say, it's not a moaning one here anyway. It's just, it is sad that I have to do it, but it is reality. I've got to, and I am sorry, but it just is what it is. I've always loved chatting to folks and meeting folks and all this, but it just can't go on. And those that do know me, that are closer to me, I have somebody round so often, that's got to stop as well. So anybody listening here that knows me, that's all got to stop, because it's got to the point where literally every weekend I've got somebody over. Sometimes they stay over in the man cave, sometimes they don't, but it's never a visit. I never get somebody for an hour. It's always my entire day, which fucks up everything that I had to do, puts me a massive backlog, drains the shit out of me that takes days to get over. And I can't keep doing that either, because even that's increasing. It seems everybody needs to see me or speak to me, and I'm sorry, it just, there ain't enough hours in the day. I tried, and God knows I've tried. Everybody knows I've tried. Those that have known me for a long time have watched me struggle with this for absolutely years and years. They've watched me literally have 4 heart attacks within 1 year, just trying to cope with the shit that I have on. And while I've been laid in my hospital bed, still been hounded. Nobody ever let me recover from my heart attacks. I've had to totally recover from 4 heart attacks while being fucking hounded on a daily basis by everybody who might just want to get rid of a debt. I've had people come to me with a £20, the worst one I got, £20 fucking pound parking ticket. £20. That was years ago, when all my work used to take hours and hours. I spent 5 hours at that time dealing with his shit, and it was a £20 parking ticket. This is how much people will value my time. So I am sorry. I don't disrespect any of you. I do love you all. It just absolutely destroys my life. So it is what it is. I'm doing my best in all cases, and I do my best for everybody who ever speaks to me. Like I say, I'll answer your emails as long as you don't turn into a fucking email stalker. I can't spend all day bouncing emails backwards and forwards. I can't become friends by pen pal. I can't do that. I'm too busy dealing with the next one. I'd love to sit and chat. I just can't anymore. Anyway, folks, I have got to go because I've got shit to do, as always. And I'll speak to you soon. Ta-da.